I'm heading into San Francisco proper to spend time in neighborhoods that I have lived in during my 30 years in the Bay Area. Most of the neighborhoods are in highly dense areas and parking can be tricky. First stop is in Potrero Hill. I'm starting off up the street from where I lived for a while. It's in an area that doesn't see a whole lot of traffic because most of it's on the freeway across the street. I'm hanging out here during the day for a while, working, and I'll find an area nearby to camp for the night. I stopped at a coffee shop that I used to spend a lot of time in. There is a 24-hour fitness close by so I can grab a shower before I go out. The night spot I chose is in the Design District, near South of Market. It's quiet here at night. I'm walking distance from Monday Night Goth Night at the DNA Lounge that plays great music and is good for people watching. And it's a 15-minute walk back to the van. After a good night's sleep, I headed back to 24-Hour Fitness for another quick shower. The first night urban camping in one of my previous lived neighborhoods is a success. The next neighborhood is just blocks away in a very dense area, so I parked about 4 blocks from the former flat that I rented in the Mission. This is where I parked for the night. A mix of businesses and apartments, and is fairly quiet, and a short walk to the DNA lounge for another dark wave goth night. The next morning I woke up and walked to Tartine, one of the best bakeries in San Francisco, and I got an overpriced croissant. Then I took a walk in my old neighborhood to see how much the neighborhood has changed. Here's my old flat and a coffee shop nearby that wasn't there when I lived here. Before heading to my next neighborhood, I'm spending the day at Ocean Beach. I took a stroll along the boardwalk, experiencing beach life in San Francisco. It is an unusually warm early winter day here. I stopped for a little while to listen to a good 4-piece jazz band play. I mostly hung out in the van watching the surfers, doing a little work and enjoying the subtle breeze. The West Portal St. Francis Woods area is the first place I lived for a brief time when I first landed in San Francisco to go to school. I stayed with my in-laws at the time while I looked for a flat, which became my North Beach flat. This neighborhood is quiet and mostly residential. There are a lot of hills here, so I need to search for flat ground. I arrived after dark and I found a quiet spot, and I plan on leaving early in the morning. I took a walk to West Portal and found an old bar to grab a drink. The service was less than friendly, so I left after a short time. That was my short stay in St. Francis Woods. I'm heading into the city for my next overnight in a neighborhood near Japantown and NOPA. I showed up after dark and it was very dense and hard to find parking. Now I remember why I didn't live here for very long. I drove around for about a half an hour and I found a parking spot that's a bit tight but will work for the night. I plan on leaving early after a walk around the old hood. I didn't sleep well in this spot. It was one of my first nights that I had trouble sleeping. I got up early, around 6 a.m., and took a walk, trying to find my old flat, but it was over 25 years ago and I can't remember which unit it was. I walked to Fillmore Street to get a coffee. And then to a bagel shop, and then back to the van. I decided to drive to Ocean Beach for the day to hang out and do some work. And surprisingly, the sun made an appearance. Now I'm staying in one of the most congested neighborhoods in San Francisco, North Beach. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone here because Russian Hill and North Beach are two places that I have lived and are right next to each other. Russian Hill is one of the toughest neighborhoods to park in, and it's on a hill. And I need flat ground so I'm not rolling out of bed. I found a place to park in North Beach in a bustling area. It is 2-hour parking until 9 p.m. and I've been here for a while now. My urban camping spot is about a block away from public restrooms and many bars and restaurants. I decided to take a walk and go to one of my favorite watering holes in North Beach, Tony Nick's. I had a couple of Italian Manhattans. Then I grabbed a slice of pizza at Tony's Slice House, no relation. On the way back to the van, I looked for a spot to repark the van, but it was so busy I decided to stay put. I woke up the next morning with no ticket and made myself an espresso. After hanging out for a bit, I took a walk to get a coffee and a croissant. It was time to head out of North Beach and Russian Hill. It is crowded in North Beach, but I miss the energy and everything within walking distance. My move to the East Bay landed me in Alameda, where I have been spending the majority of my time camping. I'm not going to attempt to sleep in Oakland, the most recent place of residence before van life. Because my loft already has many campers out front, and it doesn't feel safe to me.